What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and since we're getting close to July, I figured we'll go over the 10 decks you should really be thinking about taking to any regionals or, any locals. These 10 decks should be able to hold their ground and be able to get you into the game very easily for competitive play. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So first up on the card pool is going to be none other than Mugen itself. Machine Dramon. Aren't we all used to this? Usually is in my top 10 recently just because of how powerful the deck is. It is called the Wall for a reason. This deck can, once stabilized, most decks can't get around it. But Blue Flare kind of starts hard countering this deck a little bit. So you just got to stay on your toes and play very smart. But the deck is going to play how you want it. And I have no objections on it. I think this is pretty solid across the board. The newest card they definitely got is Metal Greymon from EX04, giving it a new blocker and a heritable. And being a blocker itself, it's not terrible. But we also do have Mecha Gaugamon from EX04. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, unsuspend this Digimon. Just quite useful card just because you can tuck it under with Chaos Dramon X. And with that, you can use it to get Mega Dramon. If you have both Mega Dramon and Volcanomon underneath, you can swing into security for at least a +3 check and restand and then get another 3 on top of that. You can clear 6 security very nicely with this deck. Just something to think about. The deck has its potentials, but people are starting to get understanding how to play around it a little bit. If they can't stabilize, you're kind of in a bad spot. So that is our number 10. Next, I gotta give it to this new spice of life, getting a new breath of fresh air with the new option of Gold Vidramon plus the option of Shadow Seraphimon. This new control style with Heaven's Judgment also gets really ridiculous pretty quickly. And what do I mean by this? Well, the deck kind of figures it wants to be like the Shakuman. We're botching things today, as always. But hey, that's why you're here, right? You like to see how many times I mess up in a video. Well, at least with this, you can take it into an account. You can Jogress and set up and use like Heaven's Judgment to apply pressure. But what's really nasty is Shadow Seraphimon. Opponent's turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon on deletion recovery 1. And then for each of your... Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 TP for each card in your security stack. Not bad. It's almost like if you lose Shadow Seraphe, you'll be able to control the board. Or you can use Magnamon X Antibody to redirect. And if he dies, you can just set yourself up. What's really nasty is Heaven's Judgment in this deck. Just being able to basically, for the first one, get 1 minus 6,000 DP, but for every colors. So we got 1, 2... 3, like roughly 3, which would mean that you're basically doing this for 6 times minus 6,000. It's 24,000 DP minusing for Heaven's Judgment, which is nasty. So it kills most megas very easily in this game. And then you kind of just use the Jogress inheritables from Veemon and Patamon to just Jogress DNA Digivolve at the end of turn. Then you have Angemon basically being able to return level 3s to the hand. And then you have like Gold Vidramon, who's basically when one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. If you have a blue or yellow tamer in play, or if you have a Armor Fortness traits in its trash, one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less cannot attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. Which you basically minus them by 2,000 DP. Then you can just easily minus them some more with Chimeramon. So it's just a win-win situation all around, and I think it's not terrible. What do you guys think? Then, for our number 8, I have to give it to the Greymon tribal decks. There's no wrong way to build the deck at the end of the day, but I think Gaomon, just really powerful card in general. Just being able to, if it deletes one of your opponent's 13 or more play costs, basically kills off any level 7s or X antibodies usually. If no Digimon was deleted by this, trash your opponent's security stack, free damage, then you get to apply more pressure. And then, you have end of turn. If you have a tamer play, you may digivolve this Digimon into a Gaomon in its name from your hand with 13 or more from your hand without paying its Digievolution cost, ignoring Digievolution requirements. which you could get into this Galmon, get an extra security plus, swing in with Reboot, De-Digivolving, and Blitz. Just gets really nasty pretty quickly, and it's just a really good deck. Most of the time, it's just Greymon Tribal. At the end of the day, you can put in any of the top end how you want to, the level 5s to level 6s, and the deck's going to do good. Just how it's going to be. I think the deck's really solid, and it's a very scary force to deal with. So, definitely the Greymon Tribals. Then we do have All Force. I think All Force definitely with the new gold Veedramon, as I mentioned earlier, with the minusing 2000 DP for the turn, and then if you have a blue or yellow Tamer play, or if you have a card with Armor 4 and traits, one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less cannot attack or block until the end of opponent's turn. Just really solid all around. The deck's here to OTK because the deck can OTK. Using Rina to restand your All Forces using its when Digivolving effect constantly. It's a nasty combo. The deck is really powerful, and there's not really much else has gone on except for the Golden Veedramon. So you're going to OTK with your opponent by playing Tamers left and right, by using All Force Veedramon's effect with Rina to play another Tamer. Hopefully it's another Rina, just to constantly add more, cycling in and adding value to your turns. So this is where the OTK comes from. Then we have none other than Red Hybrid. I definitely think Red Hybrid still contends with the board. It's just a very powerful rush deck, and it's just going to do what it wants. Atomic Inferno giving the extra security checks, Emperor Greymon being able to remove threats, or, just extra security checks. Emperor Greymon with Blitz, basically if they block it, congratulations, you unsuspend, keep it your turn. And then you get some more damage in that way. And then, you have the Takuyas, both are just really solid. All in all, the deck is still here. And then being able to have the Alderman Inheritable that says, I'm going to shut off all your security options in it. Just really solid for its Inheritable. Then we do have Bloom Hydra Quartz. Deck's still good. I don't think this deck is going anywhere. Even though with the Blossom hit down by 1, the deck is still great. You have Bloom Lord, Hydramon, and Quartzmon. All in all, just solid what you're going to do. The game plan is still the same, hasn't changed much. You get to control with Hydramon, Bloom Lord, or in some circumstances, you have Quartzmon to deal with. And if your opponent plays Tamer Heavy Focus or wide boards, instantly being able to, trash free security, if it's especially against Setcon, just gives you the edge in the matchup, I think. And it's just how this deck is going to want to play. Plant Vegetation, really solid. And then we do have Beelzemon. Beelzemon's still really solid. Even with the hit, the deck just became a lot more fair at the end of the day. It's going to do what it wants. You get Beelzemon being able to, Beelzemon X being able to trash the security once you get 30 or more. It's just really powerful. Just that free trashing is really nice. Iron Mako helps you extend your plays, keep you in the game because it just keeps putting cards at the top of your deck. Just all good stuff. All around the deck is really solid. If it snowballs, it snowballs, and then you kind of just still deal with it. So, definitely understandable. Then we have Hunters itself, and that's really quite powerful. The deck still has some decent value. Hunters is going to still want to use the Arrestormon Superior mode, being able to swing in. This Digimon can attack without suspending, just being able to apply pressure that way. It has access to Quartzmon, it has the way of being able to draw with Taikis, you to extend memory plays, old Clock Shop Man being able to up the ante with the Arrestormon Superior mode. Just all good stuff at the end of the day. I have no objections here. Pretty solid. And then Setcon, definitely saw this coming back once we got Shadow Seraphe. So people are testing out the Gatekeeper with Mother D-Reaper kind of shenanigans just because it's another recovery, and if they hit this in security, this comes out while you have a Mother D-Reaper on board, and you get a free recovery, and then basically you have a 10,000 DP body ready to battle out. So just stuff like this, and then you have like Cordramon, who's going to draw you 2 when it comes in. Magna Angela recovery. This card is just a Digivolve on top of your Cordramon and just get a free recovery. And then if they hit like Omnimon Zord defeat, then you can get into Omnimon Alter B, or better yet, if you go Shadow Seraphe, Omnimon Zord defeat, and then Merciful mode, then go into Alter B, you can activate Alter B's effect with no issue. Just plenty of options to go around for this deck. you know, all delete just to be that person that basically all deletes an opponent's board by just killing off one of your Omnis. Not in the slightest scary at all, right? Well, I mean, it's going to do what it wants, using Heaven's Judgment as well. Just a lot of possibilities with no issues here. You know, and then we do have Blue Flare taking up the lead here. Just the ability to be able to go like Decker Greymon, tuck a Shoutmon Superior mode here. You know, ×7 Superior mode underneath the Decker, then go into Kazuamon, and then basically use a Kaiser Nail to pull out the ×7 Superior mode. Gets around most wall decks anyway, so that Machinimon kind of just hates this combo. Any protections that you might have had kind of are useless against once the Superior mode comes down. And beforehand, when it was in like Crossheart or any other deck, it would normally pass turn, which would lead to being some decent comboing and stuff like that, that you basically could get back into the game. Now, because it's doing it for dirt cheap in almost some circumstances, for a 3 cost or a 4 cost, taking that Superior mode out, and then your opponent's just now staring down a big boss Digimon that they have to answer. So it's just a lot that goes on with it. So stuff to keep in mind at the end of the day, and it's really a lot, to be honest with you. But definitely the deck is what it wants to do. The new support definitely helped it out. It now has ways of attacking, and the fact that it can swing in jamming without having to worry about its Digimon dying is a huge momentum, because that used to be one of the biggest problems, and now it does have an access with another Metal Greymon for Rush. Just a lot of stuff has gone right for it. And the Kiriha and Nene being able to take pieces from the trash is huge for this deck. And being able to gain that memory as long as you and your opponent have 1-in-1 Digimon, or if you get up to 2 Digimon, your opponent's just in a bad spot. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed my picks. Let me know down in the comments what you would have picked for your top 10 that would be competitively viable. Did I miss anything that would have seemed out of the ordinary? So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace!